360 people, welcome to the 360 show, season 6, episode 9. There's so much cricket happening around the world. I try and cover it all. It's not easy, but it is the 360 show after all. I'll give it my best shot. I'll also share with you my dream T20 team and I'll explain to you why, and with some players in there as well. Also, ABReacts, some questions in the comms box. There's lots to cover. Stay tuned. Let's go. Alrighty then, stopwatch is on. 360 seconds for the 360 view. It's the Proteas and India, 1-1. All to play for in the final two T20s. As you know, we'll be heading to Centurion Park and then the Wanderers for the final one. Great comeback from the Proteas. Very, very delighted with the way they fought in that last T20. Got themselves into trouble in that second innings, but Tristan Stubbs, Gerald Coetzee, well done. Never say die, right? They played exceptionally well. And talking about Gerald Coetzee quickly, Dale Steyn tweeted, Coetzee bowling gas, hitting huge sixes. If anything from this series, he's getting some IPL attention. Absolutely spot on. He plays the game in the right way. Big heart, big match temperament, and love watching him perform. Also, congrats to Tristan Stubbs, putting up his hand there, playing spin really well. And that was covered here by Mohit Shah. Tristan Stubbs has to be one of the better retentions in the IPL 2025. Purely because the way he plays spin. I think he's got a lot more to offer than just playing spin. But you're absolutely right. In Indian conditions, you want to be a good player of spin. And then Chakravarti, his first 6 T20Is, average 66, economy rate 5.86, strike rate 67. And look at those last 5 T20s he's played. Absolutely incredible comeback. Since he's been left out of the side many years back, he's come back and look at those stats. Absolutely incredible. He's a fantastic bowler. He's an X-Factor spinner and a game breaker. So it's 1-1 in that series. It's all to play for. 2 T20s to go. South Africa's got their tails up. It's going to be great to see what happens in the last 2 T20s. Moving on, Pakistan beat Australia as the clock ticks, and I'm running out of time already. Michael Vaughan, quickly, Pakistan have been absolutely fantastic, but I don't remember seeing a series where Australia have lacked so much intensity. And why? I ask you guys, I don't understand it. Very, very weird series from the Aussies. They played their full team in those first 2 ODIs. Obviously rested some players in the final one. But for all I care, they should have lost 3-0. If it wasn't for Pat Cummins' heroics in that first ODI with a bat in hand, they would have lost the series 3-0, a whitewash at home, which would have been incredible. But nonetheless, Pakistan still coming out on top. And their bowlers having a feast. Their seam bowlers in particular. Harris Ralph with 10 wickets, Afridi 8 and Shah 5. And then Bharat Sundarasan saying, so happy for Jason Gillespie, took a dive into the unknown as Pakistan test coach. Got a rude awakening to start off with, but look at this great comeback now. Going to Australia, obviously he had some inside info on the conditions and a few other things. And Pakistan playing incredibly well. Congrats to them. Why rest your best players in the final ODI? Yes, they're getting ready for a big test match series, but I don't think it's an excuse. Australia still should have enough depth to beat a team that are not very fond of bounce and pace over there in Australia. And unfortunately for the Aussies, coming up short. Should they maybe add an extra team in a bilateral series, maybe losing a bit of traction there? Triangular has always been more entertaining. Maybe get India over there for the 3 of them to take it on. But at the end of the day, very disappointing for Australia. Going down 2-1 against Pakistan. Should have been 3-0. Congrats to Pakistan. Sri Lanka and the Black Caps 1-1 in that T20 international series. 2-match T20 international series, and I don't like that. I really don't like that. I want to see a result in the shorter version of the game, especially T20 cricket. So ICC, please guys, get us a decider there in the future. Don't do this. Sri Lanka winning the first one in Dambulla. Second one also played in Dambulla, where New Zealand won by 5 runs. Incredible defense there as Lockie Ferguson took a hat-trick. And Glenn Phillips, the all-rounder, shining with the ball of late. Obviously, you saw the test match series in India where he performed so well. But now in the T20 decider against Sri Lanka, defending 8 runs of 6 balls in that final over. Incredible, picking up 3 wickets to upset the Sri Lankans who were right there, almost clinching the series and then let it go. So that is a draw. We move on to England and the West Indies as the English take a 2-0 lead in the T20 series. But remember, they lost the ODIs. Incredible performance from the West Indies there. In this case, though, Both games played in Bridgetown in Barbados, one of my favorite places in the world. What a beautiful island. The West Indies losing that first one. Great chase from England as Phil Salt scored 100. And there's Phil Salt being quoted. They asked him, why don't you go to Rihanna's party? You invited. And he said, Rihanna's party can wait. And then going out there and chasing a big total, getting 103 or 54 balls. Phil Salt, aggressive T20 batter. I love watching him play. The second T20, Josh Butler shining there. Also chasing again, so it'll be interesting to see England setting a total for a change as they move to St. Lucia for the last few T20s there. It'll be interesting to see if the West Indies can come back. Afghanistan beat Bangladesh over there in Sharjah. All three ODIs were played there. Afghanistan winning the first one, Bangladesh fighting back in that second one, and then Afghanistan clinching the series in the final ODI as Ramanullah Gurbas shines with a big 100. And he's young and flying. Look at that. Youngest to 800s in men's ODIs. Very, very close second to one of my good friends, Quinny de Kock. Look at Sachin Tendulkar there. Virat Kohli, Babar Azam. Gurbas is right up there with the best. Would like to see more consistency from him as he faded away for the rest of the ODI series. But incredible performance nonetheless from him and Afghanistan. Well done. Home side advantage. Is it a thing? Is it a trend? I tweeted about this, guys, and as I'm covering this last one, I realize I've run out of time. My 360 seconds is gone. I apologize for that, but I really wanted to cover this topic because I tweeted about the fact that it's an amazing trend of touring cricket teams of late, dominating the home side. It's unreal stuff. Look at that. New Zealand and India, South Africa and Bangladesh, Pakistan and Australia, India and South Africa. Lots of home teams losing games, losing big series. And why is that? Why do you guys think it is? Please post your questions down below, your comments. Let me know what you think, and we'll cover a bit more of that. I truly believe cricket teams have found a way to adapt better away from home in the last few years. Better homework done, better analysis done of the away grounds. And players are not scared anymore. I think it's maybe got to do with T20 cricket players really playing all around the world. You think of the IPL, the Big Bash, the 100 in England. A lot of overseas players are getting exposure to different conditions. And then getting together as a team, you see a lot of overseas coaches take over of foreign teams. Look at Jason Gillespie at Pakistan, touring to Australia. Gillespie is an Australian great. And there's no doubt he played a huge role in preparing his team to the best with all the homework he's done, all the analysis, all the years of playing for Australia. He knows Australia inside out, and maybe that helped with regards to conditions and prepping and attacking, or trying to not attacking but exposing certain areas of the Australian cricket team, which they managed to do. So interesting trend. We'll keep an eye out for that, and we'll see if that continues. I'm way over 360 seconds. We might have to change the name of that section. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll try and stick to 360 seconds in the future. As we move on to the big topic of this week, I've decided to build the ideal T20 cricket team. Building blocks of your ideal T20 cricket team. I want you guys to partake in this. Please post all your comments down below. I will cover it over the 360 show or the 360 live this coming weekend. So let's build the ideal T20 cricket team, guys. This is more or less as captain back in the day, what I would think of. I'd always try to get this kind of mix together. As you see there at the top, I always wanted a right and a left-hand combination. The reason for that is it makes it really complicated for the captain. He needs to do a bit more homework. It feels disjointed at times, as in between deliveries, the field's got to change. It's not the ideal way to start as a bowling team when there are changes all over. The wicket keeper's got to get the angles right for the right-hander, then the left-hander. Then they change strike again, left-hander, right-hander, and so it goes. And once a batting team gets a bit of momentum, as with the right and the left-hand opening combination, it's really difficult to stop. And it becomes a lot easier for these opening batters to expose the bowling team and to find weaknesses in that department. So as we start with the right-hander, I would say tough for captain to captain against, aggressive up front, but he can adapt to good bowling with solid technique. Looks for weakness up front to expose the bowlers with field restrictions. And I put some names down there: Butler, Kohli, Gill, some of the standout performers in the last few years at the IPL. And then a left-hander as an opening batter as well. I say they're busy at the crease and keeps the bowlers guessing. Exposes the captain with angles. He's smart, but he's also aggressive. Once they get through the first 6, they have the ability to adapt to bowling changes and keep building towards overs 10 and beyond. And I put down the Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, and Jaiswal as well. So there we have it, guys. Just the mindset of the opening batters, right-left hand combination. And they have, remember, they're still opening batters. Yes, they're aggressive. The fielding restrictions, I mean, they're only 2 outside the circle. So with good cricket shots, these guys score big and they get value for their shots. But they also have the ability after 6 to pull back from gears 4, 5, back to 2 and 3. Build again, look at the spinners they're throwing at you, and get the team to overs 9, 10, 11, where they can start having a go again. So I really love that kind of mix. A lot of teams have got it right. I think of Sunrisers Hyderabad, who have played that really well with Head and Abhishek Sharma up the order. Yes, 2 left-handers there, but very aggressive, still good techniques, but they had the ability to get through over 6, pull back a touch, and then go again. Incredible. Ideally for me, right left-handers at the top. Then number 3, he's opened before. I say there, it's a guy with a good technique. He can play all around the ground, all-round good game. He can build an innings, and he also can play around batter. So if he comes in with Abhishek Sharma, for instance, he's got the ability to give him the strike and tell him, keep going, I'll bat around you. There's almost a calmness with your number 3 where you can really just play different kinds of roles. But his main goal also is to build to overs 10 plus, where you can set it up for the power hitters at the back end. And I've put there Cameron Green and also Gaikwad there. Guys who've played really well, number 3. A little bit different, those 2 players, where Green is a bit more aggressive, not as technically sound as a Gaikwad, but there's also place for different kind of players at number 3, where I feel Green and Gaikwad can adapt, and that's why I put the 2 of them down there. Number 4 then, your all-round batter. He can play against the new ball, he can play pace, he can play spin, he can hit big at the end, he can do everything. So I put there, adapt to situations to build an innings, and he can also finish. Similar to number 3, but more explosive. And I've only put 1 name down there, and that's Rishabh Pant. I would like to see him as my number 4. And your number 5 then, your wicket-keeper specialist batter. So this guy cannot just be a wicket-keeper. He must be a specialist batter. Very similar to number 4, but keep in mind, he generally would bat between overs 12 and 20. So he needs to be a really good finisher, aggressive player, and he can bat anywhere and play the situation he's confronted with. Guess who? Heinrich Klaasen. Only 1 name there for him as well, and at number 5 as well. Then number 6, your outright finisher. You can play around with this. If you don't have a Cameron Green coming in at 3, maybe you can put someone at number 6 who can bowl a bit as well, where I think of Akara and Pollard over the years who've done fantastic work for the Mumbai Indians. Outright finisher, but sometimes when the bowlers were under pressure, you could bowl 1 or 2 overs, take the pace off the ball in those middle overs, and open up options for the captain at the back end to bring his best bowlers back again. But ideally, I would like an outright finisher who is a fantastic fielder, someone like a David Miller. I've put MS Dhoni there as well, because you're always going to need an extra keeper, right? So Dhoni will probably make this team if we have substitutes, who we'll talk about just in a minute. Number 7 then, I've put down a finger spinner and batter. He doesn't just have to be a finger spinner, but ideally for me, I like this guy to be a finger spinner who can be more economical, not necessarily your mystery spinner, wicket taker, machine of a spin wicket taker. This guy knows his game inside out. He can bowl wide, he can bowl straight. He understands the game. He knows his field placings to the tee. So I've put down here complete players with bat, ball, and in the field. They are generally smart cricketers who can adapt to any situation and bat around number 6 or the in batter at that time. But they can also play with the tail. They're smart enough to play with the tail. I think of guys like Ravi Jadeja, right? Very smart. It's never over until he's out. Also Akshar Patel and Sunil Narayan. So Narayan more of a mystery spinner, but he's still a finger spinner, right? And absolutely incredible player. And if you have a Narayan in the side, you always have the option of putting him up the order as well. We've seen that he can bat in the top 2, maybe even 3. So there's a great option there. Then number 8, your mystery spinner, your out-and-out wicket taker, aggressive spinner who's there to take wickets. He can also hold the bat, but he breaks the game open with magical spells. He's the attacking wicket taker. He can bat around and top order batter, and he can clear the boundary at times. So not an outright batter. He's your mystery spinner. He's the wicket taker, but he can hold the bat. I think of a Rashid Khan, Adil Rashid, and a R.Ashwin. We'll talk about that later. So Ashwin, not a wrist spinner, but he can take it both ways. A bit of a mystery spinner. He has developed that, and that's why I have so much respect for him. He wasn't always like that. He used to be a conventional offie, and he developed his skills over the years. He's prepared to change and to learn and to grow his game. Incredible there. So number 9, your fast opening bowler. So he's smart up front with the new ball, and he knows his game inside out. He's good at the death too, and he can hold the bat with the in batter. I've got one name there, guys, Kagiso Rabada, and I hope RCB gets him at the auction this year. Number 10, your swing opening bowler, who's got good skill. So this guy can swing it both ways. He's got good skill. He's smart, and he knows his game very well. He's also good in the middle overs and the death, and he's adaptable. Bhuvi Kumar, Sandeep Sharma, 2 names for you there. And, well, it's a bit of a bonus because Bhuvi can also hold the bat. But this guy is very smart and he can swing it. He keeps the batters guessing. He's not just a one-dimensional fast bowler. Last but not least, your outright fast bowler. Now, I need pace here. I'm talking 145 plus. Someone is there in short spells, and their job is to break open partnerships. Generally want this guy to bowl to new batters because his skill is not as good as your swing bowler or your fast opening bowler like a Rabada. This guy is there against new batters, maybe one against the openers. If he doesn't come right, you wait for wickets to fall in those middle overs and you bring him back on with a slip in place. You carry his slip for longer. And I think of guys like Bumrah. Bumrah's a bit of a difficult one because he can play everything. He can be that guy to instill fear in the batters, but he can also do the slower balls. He can bowl in the middle overs. He can bowl the death. So he is your ultimate bowler. He can do all those things, but I put down another name there, Mayank Yadav, who can come in and bowl at 150 clicks, and always a great guy to have. So I'll probably go with Bumrah there and have Mayank in the substitute box. So guys, that is the long and the short of my thinking when I was captain, and most captains, I think, would have a similar approach to building the ideal T20 team. And when they're captaining in the IPL, you always want to get a sort of balance right, where you can cover all the options. So let's quickly pick the names then. Right at the top of the order, Kohli, my right-hand batter. Then my lefty, I'll go with Travis Head, actually. Number 3, Cameron Green, because he gives you that option as a bowler as well. You got to think about that when you only have a 14-man squad. Number 4, Punt. Number 5, Klaasen. Number 6, I would go with a Miller, outright finisher. I'll have MS Dhoni in my substitute box as backup. Number 7, I will go with a Narayan, purely because he can bat anywhere. And he is a bit of a mystery spinner, but he can also be economical because he's more of a finger spinner. Very, very accurate. Number 8, difficult one. I'll go with Rashid Khan. I love the guy. He is your magical bowler. You bring him on when the game is on the line in those middle overs. He can get you 2 and 3 in no time. And he can also hold the bat. He can win you the game with a bat in hand as well. Great in the field, great attitude towards the game. Number 9, Kagiso Rabada. I don't have to explain myself too much there. He's in good form at the moment, but he's smart. He thinks about the game. He sets field for his bowling. He can be fast through the air, but he also swings at times. He can bowl your death overs. He can bowl you in the middle, and he's a fighter. Number 10, I will go with Bhuvi Kumar. He can hold you the bat, which I like about him, but he's got great skill in and out. I've played against this guy on a number of occasions where I got a hold of him, then he would go to the wide line. Then the minute I would think he's going wide again, he comes straight again. Then there's a slower ball bouncer. Stays on top of things, but when there's a green wicket, when there's a bit of juice in the deck, he is going to find that, and he's going to get you wickets up front with general, conventional, proper swing bowling. Last but not least, your outright fast bowler, you got to go with Jasprit Bumrah. Absolutely incredible. He can be fast through the air, 145 plus, but he's also skillful, very smart, can bowl at any time of the game. Now, let's say it's a 14-man squad, guys. I need 3 substitutes to make it the ideal T20 cricket team. You might get an injury or two. A player falls out of form, and you need backup. Because Narayan is there, people, he's almost like my backup opening or top order batter. So I'm very happy with having Narayan there because he fills that slot. But I have an MS Dhoni, who becomes my backup keeper and middle order batter. So there's substitute number 1. I need a backup spinner, and there's none other than Yuzi Chahal. He's not in the main side because he doesn't bat as strong, maybe not as strong in the field as a Rashid Khan, so Rashid still tips him there, only by a small margin though. But there's no better bowler in the world as a backup bowler than Yuzi Chahal as your mystery leg spinner. And then last but not least, backup for Jasprit Bumrah and backup for Rabada will be Mayank Yadav. Outright pace bowler. He can break the game open. and it can take you some wickets and instill big fear in the batting department. Guys, that is my ideal T20 cricket team. This is how I used to think about my team and the balance thereof while I was captaining. I hope you enjoyed my insights on that. Let's move on to ABReacts. I love this. Welcome to ABReacts, guys, as we quickly talk about Cricket Australia. George Bailey talking about Nathan McSweeney, who is going to open the batting against India. And George Bailey was quoted saying, I think in the 15 or so games that he's been batting 3 for South Australia, he's been in before the 10th over about 20 times. So he had plenty of experience as an opening batter. George Bailey explaining why he feels Nathan McSweeney can fill the boots in that opening slot against India in that huge test match series that is starting soon, guys. I'm so excited I can hardly sit still. This is going to be one to watch. And it's going to be a great series. There's the Australian Test squad as well, captained by Pat Cummins, as you all know. There's no David Warner, so Nathan McSweeney filling those boots, and hopefully his bat will do the talking as Steve Smith decided to move into the middle order, and I'm very happy to say that because I fully agree with that move. I've been calling it from the minute he decided to open the batting. I said, this is a mistake, guys. You don't change a winning recipe. You're one of the best Test players of all time. Not just this generation. You're spoken of as one of the greats of all time. And why change that? So great to see Steve Smith back there in the middle order. And I've absolutely no doubt he's going to score a lot of runs there. It's going to be interesting to watch the series, guys. There's a lot to play for. Team India under a bit of pressure because they need points to get back into the swing of things. I think they're going to have to dominate Australia in Australia to stand a chance for those top 2 teams in the World Test Championship. But Team Australia also would want to make the top 2. So it's going to be a fierce battle out there, and I absolutely cannot wait. 2 of the best test-playing cricket nations up against each other. India obviously away from home. And will that trend of away teams continue? We'll wait and see. As my daughter turned 4, guys, she's 4 years old, this little pocket rocket, don't let the blonde fool you. There's a lot of fire on the inside. I shared a couple of pictures with you guys on the broadcast channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, saying their birthday shenanigans for our little princess. She is a little princess indeed, and she's got me wrapped around her finger. All right, guys, that's all for ABReacts. Let's move on to the comms box, as you guys posted some questions in the descriptions box below, and I want to thank you all for that, for taking part in that, and I wouldn't be able to do this show without you all. Happy birthday to your girls, to your girl, and my question is, don't you think Markram's form is a concern? From Rishabh 4064. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, by the way. I fully agree with you. It's been frustrating to watch him play because I know the potential of this man and I know how good he is. And it's been a tough ride for him, guys. It's almost, think of it like the markets. I mean, think of it like a chart. So let's say gold, for instance, does well over time and then it consolidates. And then it picks up again. So the question is, does Markram have the ability to do that, to do the gold, the gold chart? It's a silly comparison, but what I want to say is class is permanent. So this guy is class. He showed that already. And it's not just a matter of fighting it out there, figuring out what's wrong. So really learning from it and gaining experience through this low. And then once you get up, as with the gold chart, then you beat your all-time high and you go even higher. You break new highs. And that's what I want for Markram. He's right at that bottom now, hopefully starting to curve up as he can only let the bat do the talking. That's ultimately what he will be judged about, scoring runs for his country and for his teams. Patrick Johnson, I'm nervous for my mighty Aussie team. I would be too. I think we will win, but India will be trying very hard to redeem themselves. I think we'll win 3-1, but the games will be close. I fully agree, right? It's going to be a great series, as I just alluded to in the previous section. It's going to be a great test series to watch, guys. These are 2 of the biggest test-playing nations in the world, and they both have a lot of fiery characters as well. I think of Steve Smith, who can be fiery at times, Virat Kohli, Bumrah. These guys are there to win, and both teams will feel exactly the same. And when 2 big bulls run into each other, there's always a big clash and fireworks and emotions. Buckle up, it's going to be great to watch. So we'll do one more, as I've covered a lot in the show. Last but not least, Australia just lost the bilateral ODI series against Pakistan, playing their B team. Do you think as we go forward, we will see less of these bilateral series? I do feel a bilateral series is a boring thing. I honestly do feel so, unless it's the two best teams in the world who just played against each other in a World Cup final or something like that. There's a bit of something to play for. This was almost squeezed in. And I do not think that Australia's B team played, guys. In the first two ODIs, it was full strength. And Pakistan should have been 2-0 up. And anyway, there. In the last one, yes, they rested some players, which was odd. I don't think a one ODI would have had any effect in the Test series coming up against India. But nonetheless, that's what they did. And still, for Pakistan to go over there to play against, I would say, an A- team, not a B team, still an incredible win and a great series win for them. Moving on to the 360 quiz, last week's winner. Agniva, congratulations, you got it right. The question was, my recent guest Robin Uthappa and I played against each other only once in international cricket. Who was the player of the match that day? And the answer was Rohit Sharma. Agniva, I know that you're a big fan of Rohit. I read some of the comments you wrote down there. You just wanted to let me know, yes, I get Rohit. I've got the answer right, but this is what I think of him. I absolutely love him. I've been following him my whole life. So congrats to you for getting that one right. And moving on to this week's 360 quiz. Gurbaz beat Sachin Virat Babar in terms of being the youngest to score 8 ODI centuries. Who is the only other player ahead of him in that list? I covered it in the show. I hope you guys were paying attention. Good luck to all of you. The last 360 quiz for this season, guys. We'll do a segment on playing 360 from next week where I talk about technique and how to improve your batting. So buckle up for that. Strap it in because it's going to get exciting. Guys, subscribe to the channel as per usual. Please like this show. Follow me in socials and stay tuned for 360 Live this coming weekend. Have a fantastic week and take care.